This video is sponsored by Zoom.
I'm really fascinated about sound design these days, and I already have a new challenge. I want to create some galaxy, like spacey sounds using Ableton, my MacBook Air, and also a plugin called Dust by Soundmorph. And we're using sounds that our human ears can't even hear. And for this, we're using the Lom Priezor, going around Reykjavik, recording electromagnetic fields. And before we get started, let me show you some of the highlights of Reykjavik. The Harpa, the church that everybody takes pictures of. And we have bonus. But now let's get started recording electromagnetic fields around Reykjavik. Now I show you something really cool. This is a very busy street, and this Priezor can actually pick up the sound, you can hear it, of the cars passing by. So that's really cool. And if you want to create whoosh sound effect, this is one way to do it. Haha, that was fun. Each car has a different sound. Oh. Like this truck, for example, right? It's more deeper. Oh, now car's stopping. So now if you know how to create like these kind of synth melodic sounds, this is great because it's just like wee, woo, wee, woo, woo, wee. Cool. Okay, I think we got enough here. Now we go to another place. Now let's listen how this sound sounds like. Very warpy. Oh yeah. Oh, this is great. You know, it creates this nice so you can already have a beat. There's already a rhythm here. And then later, you know, with all the different plugins, with all the different sounds. Oh. So while I let this rolling, we actually here already like almost half an hour because we had so many conversations, people asking all the time, what is that? As you probably already know me, I talk a lot. Then I don't let them go. Okay, now let's find something else. So we see people here in Reykjavik driving around with these scooters all the time. But do they actually make a sound? They do. Oh, you see this is like a high voltage box. It's like very powerful. It's more bassy, more like ooh. You know, the closer you get, like and all these interesting noises here. But it's also a way to create a whoosh, no? You do it like this. Oh. See? I don't know how many YouTubers do that. Whee! I don't know how people think that in the car, you know, passing by, what is this guy doing? Like, he's like, and this is what you do with the Priezor. You know, the sounds are always here, and it's so cool to pick them up with the Priezor. So thanks, Jonas. So each time the picture changes, you get the pam. But it's very like, this is very like an aggressive sound, like very like ah! If you create like monster sounds and you pitch this down, wow. But we're gonna mix all these sounds together in the Dust plugin, and then we see what's coming out. We had a lot of fun recording all these sounds around Reykjavik, and now what I'm gonna do is I prepare the sound files, and then I see you right at my desk. Welcome to my studio. I already prepared 8 really nice electromagnetic field sounds that we're gonna play around with. But before we get started, let me just introduce you to our sponsor. For this video, it is Zoom,
As you know, we travel the world and recording sound on the Zoom F6. And especially for these electromagnetic field sounds, it's very helpful to record them in 32-bit. There is no clipping because these sounds are very inconsistent. You know, you go closer, you go up, so they really like can explode in your ear. And then if you don't record them in 32-bit, then you might have a problem that they could clip. If you're interested in 32-bit recording, Zoom F6 is a great device. You might be wondering what the Priezor is. I have it since almost 2 years traveling around. I already recorded and published quite a bit of sound libraries with the electromagnetic fields, but we never really made a video about it. And now I think it's the time to do it. Lom is the same company than the Geophone. So if you have never heard about the Priezor, but you saw the Geophone video, it's the same company. And Jonas and his team, they always create like very small quantities. So if you're interested in a device like this, make sure you sign up for his mailing list if they're sold out, or you just check on his website and see if it's available. So what can we actually do with these sounds, right? Whoosh sound effects with it. Laser sounds, you can like choo choo, choo 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 choo. Incredible like soundscapes that are just out of this world. So I will show you this. All what you need is you need the recording device, and then you need a plugin to create these tools. So that's how I discovered Dust. And if you have never heard about Dust, it is from Soundmorph, and so I paid for the plugin, I downloaded it, I used it, and then I thought, you know what, I'm reaching out to Jason and see what we can do, right? So I reached out to Jason and asked him, hey, I really love your plugin, I want to make a video about it, is it possible that we can do something for my viewers, like people like you know, if you're interested? And we said, why not just having a coupon code that allows the first 20 sign-ups, you get 50% off. I'm not getting any cut, I'm not affiliate. Jason or anybody else did not ask me to make this video, so just that you know this video and everything we'll be doing is from my own heart. That's it. So now let's go into it. And here we are. Great, so you see I already have my Ableton prepared. And now let's open Dust the first time. There you go. So now when you first look at it, you're probably like, whoa, what is this? What is this, right? That's how I felt. I'm like, wow. And this is like the default. Now when you see here in the right corner the emitters, each single one of these emitters is your sound file. So I'm gonna show you how you can load them. But first, let's watch to a preset, and then we using one of the presets to change the sound to the electromagnetic field sounds. As you can see, there are already several sound designers who created their own presets that we can use. And let's click here on Distance Factory, for example. Then we're hitting the space bar. And now there's no sound. That's because there's the sound. Oh, to make sure that I don't. Oh, see, this is already like very spacey, and what are they doing is they are going here through the presets of sounds. You see, these are all the sounds that are already available within Dust. And here, when you see all the knobs here on the right side, you can change each single emitter. You can change the decay, the pitch, everything. So, and this is just one preset. So now what we're doing is, I want to use our own sounds with a different preset. And I think that the one from Richard Devine, the Alien Rainstorm, is a pretty cool one. Not only because it doesn't have so many sounds like particles or emitters, so that makes it more understandable when we're changing the sound. Also, when you look here in the convolution, you read paper here, right? This is the convolution reverb. So what you can do is, if you have your own impulse response, you can load them into Dust. So you can actually use your own impulse response. So that's pretty cool. So you have these presets, or as I mentioned, you can use your own ones. Now let's change the sound to something with the electromagnetic fields. So for example, in the red emitter, he uses the water creek, and we're gonna change this to an electromagnetic field sound. Now I'm clicking here, and then in the drop down menu, you see already reduce sounds, electromagnetic fields. Now what you can do is, you can create your own folder structure, and then you can include them into Dust, and that's fantastic. You know, you can do it with geophone sounds like impacts, ambient, everything you have. If you have a nice folder structure, then it's very simple to just click on it, and now we start exchanging the sounds. You hear? This is from the bicycle. It's already completely different. You have this. Let's do the time drone. Let's change the time drone to the construction LED blinking. And that's why I believe that the program, or like the Dust, is really great for a beginner, because it gives you the tools, right? And then you just use your own sounds, bring this in, and then you can just play around with it. You know, like here's the pitch. Also, if I click control, you know, you have all these different presets, and you can change the scale. It's so much stuff. So if you're really interested in learning more about this, each single knob here, you see this, can be changed. You can do this the same here with the flow field. The flow field are these white particles that flying around, so you can change everything. So now what we're doing is we're exchanging the complete field with another electromagnetic field. Let's see the car pass by, for example. So now all the sounds that Richard Devine uses are gone. And now it's our sound. And this alone is like this. So like, now imagine you are on a spaceship and you walk, and you walk through a gate, and something is following you. It's incredible, right? With the sound that we just got out there in Reykjavik. It's an electromagnetic field, and you can change everything. Now let's bring something more in here, like. But that's the thing, you know, you can always overpower it. There should be always like, this already is for me quality. I would even do anything anymore. This is already a sound I would export. Oh, but let's just do it for the fun, because that's so cool. So now we copy and paste. And you see, now there is another one. But what we're doing is we're changing the sound to a different one. Let's see what we can do here. The power supply box. Oh, you see? Now you have this. And what's so cool is, we can pitch this down a little. Oh, now it's getting darker. We can also change the particle. So now we have 80. What happens if we go up to 200? I always have to keep an eye on my processor. You see? Oh yeah. Bringing the gain a little down. Make it a little louder here. This is cool, right? This alone. Whoa. So this is Dust, just with the electromagnetic field. So now I want to show you something else. You can also change here all this flow field, you know, you can create like clockwise rotation. Let's just turn off the convolution reverb here in Dust. You see, it's already different, because Ableton actually has an incredible free Max for Live convolution reverb. It says Pro, you can download it on the website. Now let's turn this on. You see, now it's, whoa, I like this one. I already like choose this, because look at this list. This list is so long. Each time you change it, wow. But I want to show you something that is also free, and that's from Glitch Machine. Let me close this here really quick. And this is Hysteris. This, my friends, this is so cool. I like Nebula, Ah, I just got a new follower on Reddit. Let's change this to Nebula. And let's see what happens if I activate it. Wow. See it. Now it's even more like electric. Wow. It's like angry and this is fantastic. And it has like, give it a little bit more depth. Oh look, you see I'm already at 60% of my processor, so I'm stopping here with that. You see you can do so much, but I'm already here on my limit, what the computer is capable of. But yes, I'm gonna buy a new one. Absolutely, because this is so much fun. Now I'm gonna show you how I can create with these electromagnetic fields and just dust a laser sound and also a whoosh. And the samples are fantastic, so just let me close this all off. We don't need these plugins anymore. Now we open Dust again. And Jan David, he already has some really nice presets. So there is this one, whoosh number 4. Now we select this. See how it sounds like. You see now there is the MIDI note single control. So what it does is I have to click now on here, and you see now a keyboard opens up. I personally don't have a MIDI keyboard, so I have to play the notes. And let's see how that sounds like. Oh, of course I have to activate Dust first. Always have this thing on. There it is. Whoosh. And each time I click a different note, I have a different sound. So now let's see how it sounds like when we're using our sound effects, the electromagnetic fields. Now I just go and I start from the top, just exchanging all the sounds with our sounds. There's a lot of sounds in here. Okay, so here we go. Now let's see how that sounds like with the electromagnetic field sounds. So now we have to change the field of the keyboard, so we can actually make it longer. And now, see that? And this is all binaural. So what you can do, you can also change this. You know, you can move them around, you can place them, you can make it that it sounds like it's shooting a right on the head or left on the head, because in the middle, this is the perspective of how we hear the sound. So let's see what happens. You see? Shoo! Now it's to the other side. Oh, fascinating. Let's change it here. Just back and forth. Just playing around with it. And a little lower. And there you have like a whoosh. Let's use a different whoosh because it has more presets. See how this one sounds like? Whoa, this is a good one. This is a really good one. So let's exchange them with our sounds because it's a little bit more hard, more aggressive. Starting here. Okay, here we go. Let's see how that sounds like. Now these are just the electromagnetic fields. And if I want to, I can just pitch them all down. See how that? I just change the pitch of each single emitter, of each single electromagnetic field sounds. Just low. Let's see what turns out. And that's the cool thing, you know? You explore by listening and by just playing around. Oh. Let's see. Now we change the pitch. Let's go a little lower. Huh, interesting. It's actually higher. Oh. Now there was the whooshes. Now imagine you use completely different sound like fast cars, geophone sounds, anything. And then you put it in, mix it with the electromagnetic fields, and then you have already a complete different sound. Now let's do some lasers. I already found Jan David, he already has some laser presets prepared. Ooh, that looks like it's like shooting on the head. So let's see how that sounds like. Let's just hit one key. Oh. And it's like falling. Now let's see what happens if we just exchange these sounds with our electromagnetic fields. Just use any, maybe some different ones. Okay, I see I select some here that is actually off, but we turn this thing on. Let's see what happens. Oh, and you see? And already we have a new one. If I would do this here, then we have even one more. So now let's hit the key. Wow! Making laser sounds with electromagnetic fields. And you can also use my keyboard. This is so fun. Now let's see what else do we have here. Maybe it's a different laser sound. Also we use a Raum to make it. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just keep the laser. And now let's do, because I love the from Native Instrument. I love the Raum one. Also not endorsed from Native Instruments. It's all my own thoughts, because I really think these plugins are great. There's one thing, of course, if you have a small screen then things are getting a little bit tight, because you can't change the size. You can only do it like fixed, like you can click here, make it bigger, but there is no way I can go smaller. So now let's see how the laser sounds with Raum. Whoa, you see that? It is so big, you know, it's like, imagine also like spaceship, you know, because this is dust, you know, ooh, galaxy. Let's do a little faster, but not too fast. Unbelievable. Okay, so that was exciting. That was a lot of fun, and I'm not stopping here. So there will be a sound library available called Electric Particles. So I'm gonna release that very soon on my Bandcamp account, so keep an eye on that. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like to see more tutorials or like, you know, discovering plugins, just leave me a comment down below. If there's a special plugin you think I should check out and make a video about it, let me know. It really helps us grow. It really helps me discovering more about the world of sound design, so I really appreciate that. But now what we're doing, Libby and I, we're packing up, we're leaving Iceland and we're heading to Croatia. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see you there. And now I wish you all a wonderful time until next video. It is so hard to end a video. See you.